In a high-security military compound, a man mops the floors every night at 0300 hours. Nobody knows his name. Nobody asks questions. He's just the janitor, until the base goes into lockdown, and someone notices the scars on his hands aren't from cleaning chemicals. From which city in the world are you watching this video today? If this story resonates with you, please consider subscribing for more untold military stories. Naval Base San Diego, Building B. The night shift is silent. Fluorescent lights cast cold illumination across empty corridors. The only sound is the rhythmic squeak of wheels against polished floors. A man pushes a cleaning cart down the hallway. His name is Marcus, though no one on base knows that. To them, he's just the night guy, or the janitor. Mid-50s, graying hair, hunched shoulders. He wears a faded blue maintenance uniform with no name tag. His eyes stay fixed on the floor as personnel pass by. Marcus has been working at this base for 8 months. Same routine every night. He arrives at 2,200 hours, punches in at the maintenance office, and begins his rounds. He mops floors, empties trash bins, wipes down surfaces. Invisible work done by an invisible man. Lieutenant Chen walks past him in the corridor, coffee cup in hand, returning from a late briefing. Marcus steps aside, pressing his cart against the wall to let her pass. She doesn't acknowledge him. Doesn't even glance his way. To her, he's part of the scenery, like the fire extinguishers or the security cameras. But if Lieutenant Chen had looked closer, she might have noticed something unusual. The way Marcus positions himself when someone approaches, his body always angled toward the nearest exit. The way his eyes, despite appearing downcast, constantly scan every corner, every doorway, every window. The way he moves through spaces with an economy of motion that isn't quite right for someone who's supposed to be just a janitor. In the officers' break room, Marcus empties the trash. 2 captains sit at a table, discussing classified operations in hushed tones. They don't lower their voices when he enters. They don't stop talking. He's furniture to them. Harmless. Beneath notice. As Marcus wipes down the counter, his ears capture every word. Troop movements. Deployment schedules. Security protocols. He files it all away, his expression never changing, his movements never pausing. The base operates on a strict hierarchy. Officers at the top, enlisted personnel in the middle, and support staff at the bottom. Marcus exists even below that, in a category reserved for civilians who keep the facility running but hold no rank, no authority, no voice. Young Marines sometimes make jokes when he passes. "Hey, mop guy, missed a spot." They laugh among themselves. Marcus says nothing, just adjusts his grip on the mop handle and continues working. His hands, wrapped around the wooden handle, tell a different story than his humble posture suggests. They're scarred, calloused in unusual places. The knuckles are slightly misshapen, evidence of breaks that healed without proper medical attention. In the security office, Corporal Davis watches the night shift cameras with half-closed eyes. Another boring night. The screens show empty hallways, quiet storage areas, and Marcus pushing his cart from room to room. Davis yawns and turns his attention to his phone. What Davis doesn't notice is the subtle pattern in Marcus's movements. The way he times his rounds to coincide with camera blind spots. The way he occasionally pauses near ventilation grates and secure doorways, his head tilted slightly as if listening. The way he's mapped every inch of this facility in his mind. At 0247 hours, Marcus is in the basement level, mopping near the auxiliary generator room. This is the quietest part of his shift, when even the skeleton crew upstairs is drowsy and inattentive. He works methodically, the mop swishing across the concrete floor in steady rhythm. Then everything changes. An explosion rocks the eastern perimeter. The sound is muffled by thick walls, but unmistakable. Emergency alarms begin screaming throughout the facility. Red lights flash in the corridors. Marcus doesn't freeze. Doesn't panic. His body responds with trained precision before his mind consciously processes what's happening. He abandons the mop, letting it clatter to the floor. His hands move to his cleaning cart, reaching beneath the false bottom lined with spray bottles and rags. From a hidden compartment, he pulls out a tactical radio, a Sig Sauer P226, and a combat knife. The hunched posture vanishes. His shoulders straighten. The shuffling walk transforms into the purposeful stride of someone who has moved through hostile territory hundreds of times before. The transformation takes less than 3 seconds. Upstairs, chaos erupts. Marines scramble to defensive positions. Officers shout orders. The base's quick reaction force mobilizes. No one notices that the janitor has disappeared. Marcus moves through the basement corridors with precision, his weapon held in a low-ready position. He knows exactly where he's going. The auxiliary communications room, 2 levels below the main operations center. It's the base's backup command hub, and if someone has breached the perimeter, they'll try to disable communications. He reaches a secure door marked "Authorized Personnel Only." In his previous life, he would have had clearance. Now he's just a janitor. But Marcus doesn't need clearance. He produces a key card from his pocket, one he's had since the day he arrived at this base. The door clicks open. Inside the communications room, 3 technicians huddle near their stations, listening to the chaos upstairs through their headsets. They spin around when Marcus enters, weapons drawn, ready to defend their position. They stare at the janitor holding a handgun with the confidence of someone who knows exactly how to use it. "Who the hell are you?" one of them demands. Marcus doesn't answer immediately. He's listening to the tactical radio he pulled from his cart, his face expressionless as he processes the incoming reports. Multiple hostiles. Professional. Coordinated. This isn't a random attack. "Lock this door," Marcus says quietly. His voice is different now. Authoritative. Command trained. "Kill the lights. Get down." "You're the janitor," another technician protests. "You can't." Now, Marcus interrupts, his tone leaving no room for argument. Something in his eyes makes them obey. They've seen that look before in special operations personnel. These aren't the eyes of a janitor. The technicians scramble to follow his orders. The room plunges into darkness except for the glow of equipment screens. Marcus positions himself near the door, weapon trained on the entrance, listening. Footsteps in the corridor outside. Multiple targets. Moving with tactical discipline. Not Marines. Not security. Intruders. The door handle rattles. Someone's trying to gain entry. Marcus makes a hand signal to the technicians, a military gesture they recognize. "Stay quiet, stay down." Through the door's small window, a figure appears. Tactical gear. Night vision goggles. Suppressed weapon. Professional mercenaries, not terrorists. This is a targeted operation. Marcus makes a decision. He can't let them breach this room. If they take control of communications, the entire base becomes vulnerable. He moves to the side of the door, pressing against the wall. One of the technicians watches him, recognition slowly dawning on his face. He's seen this kind of movement before. Room clearing techniques. Close quarters combat positioning. This man has done this before. The door explodes inward. A shaped charge, small but effective. The intruders are breaching. What happens next takes less than 6 seconds. The first hostile enters, scanning the room with his weapon. Marcus is behind him before he can register the threat. The knife moves once, precise and silent. The hostile drops. The second one steps through, more cautious. Marcus has already moved, using the first body as cover. 2 shots from the Sig Sauer, both hitting center mass. Suppressed, but not silent. The third hostile pulls back, calling for backup. Marcus slams the damaged door shut and drags a heavy equipment rack in front of it. Call it in, he tells the technicians, his breathing steady despite the violence. Tell command you have hostile forces attempting to breach communications. Tell them. He pauses. Tell them Ghost is active. One of the technicians is already on the secure line. Sir, we need to report, we have, wait, did you say Ghost? Marcus doesn't respond. He's checking his ammunition, his movements automatic. Muscle memory from a life he was supposed to have left behind. Upstairs, the report reaches the command center. Commander Sarah Reeves is coordinating the defense when her communications officer delivers the message. Ma'am, we have confirmation of hostile breach attempt at auxiliary communications. But there's something else. Someone down there just identified themselves as Ghost. Commander Reeves freezes. She knows that call sign. Everyone in Naval Special Warfare knows that call sign. But Ghost was killed in action 4 years ago in Yemen. The entire team was lost. She attended the memorial service. That's impossible, she says. Run identification on everyone in that room. Now. 30 seconds later, the results come back. 3 authorized technicians. And 1 civilian maintenance worker. Name, Marcus Webb. No military record. No service history. Background check shows he's a former warehouse worker from Oregon. Except Commander Reeves knows that's a cover identity. Because 4 years ago, she served alongside a SEAL team operator whose real name she never learned. Everyone just called him Ghost. And she remembers his eyes. Commander Reeves makes her way to the basement level with a 4-man security team. The base perimeter is secure now. The hostile force has been repelled, but questions remain. Who were they? What were they after? And who is the janitor with the call sign of a dead SEAL? She reaches the communications room to find Marcus sitting calmly against the wall, his weapon disassembled and laid out on the floor in front of him. The 3 technicians are giving statements to security. 2 bodies lie covered with equipment tarps. Marcus looks up as Commander Reeves enters. For a moment, neither speaks. Webb isn't your real name, is it? She finally asks. No, ma'am. His voice is quiet again, the command tone gone. It's Keller. Lieutenant Marcus Keller. SEAL Team 3. Kia, Yemen, 2021. Officially. Reeves kneels down to his eye level. I was there for your memorial. We thought everyone was lost. Everyone was, Marcus says. Except me. The mission was compromised. Intel leak. Someone sold us out. My entire team walked into an ambush. He's quiet for a moment, the weight of those memories evident in his expression. I barely made it out. Spent 6 weeks in a Taliban prison before I escaped. By the time I made contact with command, they'd already held the funerals. I was officially dead. Why didn't you come back? Reeves asks. Why disappear? Because someone inside our chain of command betrayed us, Marcus responds. Someone with high-level clearance. I couldn't trust anyone. So I stayed dead. Started tracking the leak myself. He gestures to the bodies under the tarps. These men. They're contractors. Same group that ambushed my team in Yemen. They've been running operations under the radar, selling classified intel to the highest bidder. And you've been hunting them as a janitor? One of Reeves' security team asks, incredulous. Best way to be invisible, Marcus says simply. No one notices the janitor. No one questions why he's in secure areas late at night. Perfect cover for surveillance. Commander Reeves studies him carefully. You know I have to report this. Pentagon will want answers. I know, Marcus nods. But first, ma'am, we need to secure this base. That attack tonight? It was a distraction. They wanted me to reveal myself. Which means they know I'm here. And if they know, then the person who leaked my team's location 4 years ago probably knows too. You're saying we have a mole on this base. I'm saying I've spent 8 months narrowing down the possibilities. And tonight's attack confirms it. Someone here has been feeding information to hostile actors. The same way someone fed information that got my team killed. Reeves makes a decision. What do you need? Access to base personnel files. Communications logs. Financial records. And 12 hours before you report this up the chain. That's against protocol. So is faking your death and working undercover as a janitor, Marcus points out. But here we are. Commander Reeves weighs her options. By the book, she should place Marcus in custody and immediately notify NAVSOC. But she also knows that if there's a mole on her base, going through official channels could compromise the entire investigation. 12 hours, she agrees. But I'm assigning you a handler. Someone I trust completely. Over the next several hours, Marcus transforms from janitor back into operator. In a secure office, he lays out 4 years of evidence. Photos. Communications intercepts. Financial transactions. A web of corruption that reaches higher than anyone expected. The mole is Captain Douglas Webb, the base's logistics officer. The same man whose identity Marcus borrowed for his cover. That wasn't coincidence. Marcus had identified Webb 2 months ago and has been building a case ever since. Webb has been selling operational details to a private military corporation called Obsidian Hand. The same corporation that ambushed SEAL Team 3 in Yemen. The same corporation whose contractors just attacked this base. We need to move carefully, Marcus explains to Commander Reeves. If Webb realizes we know, he'll run. Or worse, he'll trigger whatever contingency plan he has in place. What do you suggest? Let me talk to him, Marcus says. As the janitor. One last time. Dawn breaks over Naval Base San Diego. The night's chaos has settled into tense vigilance. Captain Webb arrives at his office, coffee in hand, preparing for what he thinks will be a routine damage assessment meeting. He doesn't notice the janitor mopping the hallway outside his door. Hasn't noticed him for 8 months. Marcus waits until Webb is inside his office, then wheels his cart through the door behind him. Sir, need to clean in here real quick, he says in the shuffling, apologetic tone he's perfected. Webb barely looks up from his computer. Make it fast. I have a meeting in 10 minutes. Marcus closes the door quietly. Locks it. The sound of the lock clicking makes Webb's head turn. What are you? Webb begins, then stops. Because the janitor is no longer hunched. No longer shuffling. And he's holding something that janitors don't carry. Hello, Doug, Marcus says quietly. We need to talk about Yemen. Webb's face goes pale. His hand moves toward his desk drawer, where Marcus knows he keeps a weapon. Marcus is faster, kicking the desk. The drawer slams shut, trapping Webb's hand. I wouldn't, Marcus advises. You make a sound, and this gets messy. Who are you? You know who I am. Or rather, you knew who I was. SEAL Team 3. The team you sold out to Obsidian Hand. The team you murdered. Recognition and fear flash across Webb's face. You're supposed to be dead. So are a lot of people. But here I am. Alive. Angry. And holding evidence of everything you've done. For the next 8 minutes, Marcus explains exactly how he tracked Webb. The financial accounts. The encrypted communications. The pattern of compromised operations that all trace back to information only Webb had access to. You know what the interesting thing is, Doug? Marcus says, his voice conversational despite the gun. You've been so careful. Routing payments through shell corporations. Using cutouts. Never meeting your handlers in person. Almost perfect. Almost. You forgot about the janitor, Marcus says with the ghost of a smile. The invisible man who cleans your office every night. Who empties your trash. Who sees what you throw away. Those encrypted USB drives you thought you destroyed. Turns out they're not so destroyed when you know how to recover data. Webb's shoulders sag. What now? You kill me? No, Marcus says. That's the difference between us. You killed my brothers for money. I'm not like you. He produces a set of plastic restraints. You're going to be arrested. Court-martialed. You're going to spend the rest of your life in Leavenworth. And every single person you betrayed will know your name. Commander Reeves and military police enter the office moments later. Webb is taken into custody without resistance. As they lead him away, he looks back at Marcus one last time. 4 years, Webb says. You waited 4 years for this? I waited for justice, Marcus corrects him. For my team. They deserved better than to be forgotten. 3 weeks later, Marcus stands in dress blues for the first time in 4 years. He's in a Pentagon briefing room, surrounded by admirals and intelligence officials. The investigation into Obsidian Hand has expanded into a multi-agency operation. Dozens of corrupt officials have been identified. The network is being dismantled. Lieutenant Keller, the admiral asks, what are your plans now? Your service record will be reinstated. Full benefits. Back pay. You've more than earned a return to active duty if you want it. Marcus considers the offer. Part of him wants to return to the teams, to the brotherhood he lost. But another part remembers the quiet nights mopping floors, invisible and unnoticed. There's a certain freedom in being invisible. Actually, sir, Marcus says slowly, I'd like to request assignment to a different kind of duty. Naval intelligence. Undercover operations. The admiral raises an eyebrow. You want to stay in the shadows? Someone has to watch the places no one else is looking, Marcus replies. Turns out I'm good at being invisible. A month later, a new maintenance worker starts at a different military installation. Older gentleman. Quiet. Keeps to himself. Just the janitor. Nobody knows his name. Nobody asks questions. And that's exactly how he wants it. Because sometimes the most dangerous operators are the ones you never see coming. The ones who hide in plain sight. The ones who understand that real power isn't about rank or recognition. It's about being where you need to be, when you need to be there. And sometimes, the man mopping the floor is the most dangerous person in the room. Marcus Keller chose a different path. Not the path of glory or recognition, but the path of quiet service. He understood that heroism isn't always about standing in the spotlight. Sometimes it's about standing watch in the shadows. His story reminds us that we should never underestimate the people around us. The quiet ones. The invisible ones. The ones society overlooks. Because sometimes, the janitor isn't just a janitor. Sometimes, he's a ghost. If this story moved you, please subscribe to Veteran's Voice for more untold military stories. Like, comment your thoughts, and enable notifications so you never miss a mission. Thank you for watching, and remember, respect everyone you meet. You never know what battles they've fought.